Well, all right. I apologize. I just planted my onions. They look a little puny right now, but probably not very happy with me. But I'm going to water them just as quick as I get done doing this. But I wanted to show you what progress I'd made. I've done that. I've got the arches up. And this afternoon I'm going to plant some seed. And I'm going to try if I can get the wind to lie down to tape that. I tried to tape this. I made 2 attempts. But what happened was, each time I'd get to showing you and get maybe ready to plop that first onion in the ground, the breeze would blow my tripod over. So I'd have to start all over again. So that was no problem. I start all over again. Well, the same thing had happened again, a couple of minutes later. So I decided just grab the camera and do it this way. Now, planting them is real simple in this straw bale. I didn't know how much I'd like it, but it's not bad. All you got to do is take your trowel. I just stabbed it into the bale, pulled it back so it's leaving an opening, plopped my little onion plant down in there, and then just out of superstition, I put a little handful of potting mix in with it on top. And then you just pull your trowel out, leaving the onion in the hole, and hey, I was done in about 5 minutes. And see, the point of this, I was going to show you how easy it is to separate the onions. And it really is. You take, see, I've got a pot of water there that I was using. You take them out of the pot. Even though I planted, half pack seeds in 3 little pots, so they were in there thick. But you just take it out of the pot, let some of the loose soil brush off or fall off, however you got to do it, and then you put them in the pan and rinse them back and forth for a couple of minutes. Well, when you pull the deal out, all you got to do is just grab one at a time and just jiggle them out of there, and they just slide out. You don't lose a root at all doing it. That's something else I could show you. Pretty hard to see, but the carrots are starting to come up. These 2 carrots, 2 buckets, are one variety, and the 2 at the end are another. These 2 are coming up quicker. So, just difference in variety, no big deal. Anyway, after a while, I'm going to put potting mix on top of these bales that are under the arch. And that's when I'm going to put in seeds for that. I'm put in 2 different kinds of squash. And then I'll probably do the other arch over there and do 2 different kinds, do a climbing bean, a yard-long bean, a red noodle to be exact. And then I guess there's technically another variety they call yard-long, but anyway, be that as it may. I'm going to plant cucumbers on one side and beans on the other. And that's how I'm going to go. I've got stuff going. I've got tomatoes and pepper plants in the basement potted up, but they haven't sprouted yet, so I may have trouble there. I could not buy a seedling mat. I've tried and tried for a reasonable price. And I know somebody's going to come on the comments and say, oh, you could get them so-and-so online, and boom. But every place I've been, Walmart had them, and they had them for about $24, and that's about the right price. They were out already. So I was looking at other places because we were driving around doing some shopping the other day, and everything I found was $10 more than that. So, push comes to shove. If I have to, I don't have a lot invested. I can go buy a couple plants and 2 or 3 peppers, and then nobody's going to die. If it's the only mistake that happens this year, it'll be amazing. So anyway, that's kind of the routine for planting onions. I wish I'd have been able to tape it for you, but I just couldn't. So here in a minute, I'm going to go ahead and water them down with water can and some Miracle-Gro. Now, what I did, explain this now. What I did is I had the Master Gardener stuff. Now, that's Walmart's home brand version of Miracle-Gro. And I used up that little box, and I wasn't getting anywhere. I wasn't seeing anything happen inside that bale. So finally, I was at a hardware store that I frequent at times, and I found a bag of Scott's Turf Builder 3001. Perfect. So I started hitting them pretty heavy with the Scott's Turf Builder. About a third a cup on 2 bales. And then I'd water it in, and I'd water it the next day. Well, about 2 or 3 days of that, I started seeing that the water that was coming out of the bottom of the bales wasn't clear anymore. It was kind of muddy looking. So I just continued with that for another week. And then here we go. It's finally time I can put some seed in and some plants out. So I appreciate you watching. I've had fun this summer starting this all up again. I think what I'm going to do is at the end of the summer, they say the bales will last 2 years, but by the end of the second year, there's not a whole lot left of them. Well, I kind of had a little bit of a question in my mind. I don't like to buy potting mix or compost because of the graze-on issue. It's no good. So I was kind of trying to decide what I wanted to do. And as the straw bales were pretty expensive this year, and that's not an every year thing. That's just this year. I decided, that maybe at the end of the year, I'm going to tear out 2 of these rows. They say by the end of the second year, there's not much left of them. So by the end of the first year, they're half gone. I'm going to tear them out, take what I've got left of that turf builder, fertilizer, and go ahead and just layer them in a big pile with that fertilizer in between layers, and let them rot down over the winter, over the rest of the summer and the winter. And that way, by spring, I'll have a really nice amount of compost that I can take and refresh my bucket soil with, which will allow me to start 2 or 3, 4 more buckets, and use on top of the bales for starting seeds. So that's all for today. I appreciate you watching. I'll talk to you again in a few days. Bye-bye.